We're standing here in Philippi, where Paul first brought the gospel to Europe. And as Paul was here for several weeks and over a period of time, he began teaching and continued to teach. But there was this slave girl who was demon possessed. And as this girl continued to follow him, she continued to confess, the Spirit continued to confess that they are servants of the Most High God. They are servants of the Most High God who proclaim to you the way of salvation. Time and time, this evil spirit said this. Now, this evil spirit was proclaiming truth, but it was also a distracted demon. Paul gets frustrated and says, "Come out of her, demon. No more. In the name of Jesus, come out of her." At that point, the slave girl's owners come and want to put Paul in prison for what he has done. It's because he's taken away their profit. Well, this is the prison that Paul would have been in. This is the prison. This is where Paul would have been down, buried underneath at night, and he begins to pray and worship, and they begin singing songs of prayer. And in the middle of their praying, at midnight, an earthquake happens. Now this jailer realizes that there's a chance that all of the prisoners get free. But Paul and the other men that were there stayed. And at that, he said, "What must I do to believe?" And they said, "Confess that Jesus is Lord." See, at that moment, for that jailer, everything changed. He took Paul out of the prison and he went and washed him. After Paul had been unlawfully beaten, he went and washed him and cleaned him up, knowing that when you come to Christ, everything changes. So evil people use people for their own personal profit. But when this jailer was saved, everything about him began to change, and he immediately changed his actions, and it led to a heart of gratitude. All because Paul was in prison, and he continued to pray and worship.